Let's record. So I'm gonna start recording. So Eliphas and Natalie, thank you again so much for being here. I know it's late at night your time, again, just gratitude for you because I would be asleep if I were you. But it's lovely because I'm a morning person and you were like having me ask you questions in the morning. I was like, great, I'll do that if you're okay in the evening. So I would love, so I was so impressed with, I was looking for libraries of things around the world using the internet. And unlike you two, it seems, I do not have the language skills you have. So I typically look around in English for libraries of things, and then I try to translate in different areas. And I quickly came across the Goethe Institutes. And I was so impressed at what you offer and how you seem to have these institutes all over the world. And in Jakarta, especially, you were one of the few kind of libraries of things I found. So
It's
would
the
one of
only
you,
one, I think, in
yeah.
Indonesia.
Oh my gosh. So would you tell us a little bit about your library and what you do? I would love to learn more.
Eliphas,
Yeah,
would
thank
you
you.
like to do it?
Yeah, I could maybe start, but maybe I just wanted to say something. Natalie and I were talking about this evening or this morning for you, how should we prepare? Because for both of us, it wasn't quite clear why we have been selected to do this. And so I was asking Natalie, do you know, who's the audience? What do they do? Are they librarians? Are they part of some local initiative in the community and so on and so forth? Because, I mean, libraries of things in many places, as you have mentioned, and the Goethe Institute is just one of the players. Of course, we are very proud of what we are able to offer. And Natalie says that she also looked around and saw that some of your libraries also have these libraries of things. So we thought, maybe you just want to, have an exchange of experiences, to hear about how we are going about it, and if there's anything that we can learn from you and you can learn from us. So we are happy to do that. We did actually prepare a small presentation, but
Yay!
it might not be necessary if it's just a matter of exchange. Now, I have a question regarding the technical aspect, because for some strange reason, I cannot see any of you. I don't know if you're seeing me,
Oh,
you know?
Yes,
we
Are
are
you able
I
to
seeing
can
see
see
you.
me?
you. Yes.
You can see me, but I can't see none of you. I'm just seeing a black screen in front of me. So I'm just talking into some
Oh
dark
no.
space. I don't know what it is, but my video is on, you know?
Could
So
you, what might be, so one, all amazing. And Eliphas, I'm sorry, and Natalie, I did not give you appropriate prep. Then we love anything. I just don't want this to be a burden. We've had some people bring presentations. We've had some people not do any presentations. We would love a presentation because we love to see more about your library. But let's first see if we can get it, Eliphas, so you can see us, because we're all enjoying seeing you, and you deserve to see the
now
smiling
it's kind of
faces.
crazy, you're seeing me and I can't see any of you. So
Let's take a look at
yeah.
the view. Do you see on the top of your Zoom, do you see something called view in the top right-hand corner?
Yes, I can see that.
And does it, if you click on view, sometimes it has speaker view and sometimes it has gallery view. What happens if you click gallery view?
Now, when I put gallery view, nothing happens. It's still the same. And I have changed that to speaker view. Nothing is changing.
Oh
I've gone to
no.
several speakers. Nothing's changing. And let me see whether this would, nothing is changing, it's very strange. So
That is
I was
very
wondering,
strange.
yeah, it is actually, because
So
the other option would be that I try to log out and try to come in again, but then
yeah,
that should I try that?
why don't we try that? Because I'd love to have you see us. And then if that
Yeah,
doesn't
that would
work,
be great.
we'll just go on because we have some smiling faces here. And
Yes, of course. Yeah.
yeah. So let's, if you want, log out, log back on, and I'm just gonna, I can edit out all this stuff. So we'll just have you and your
Yeah. Yeah.
presentation and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be trick. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so
Excellent.
glad. No, so Eliphas, to your questions of who this is for and why. So we there's a group of many of us on the call are associated with Library of Things around the world. Here today, you have it, and typically we've been doing this in English, not because we don't love other languages, but I don't have the capacity to speak them. But as we get more humans, hopefully we'll be able to go into other languages. So this is a mutual aid group that started because a lot of libraries of things around the world don't know each other. They know they exist, but they don't know where to go for help per se. There's no National Library Association for libraries of things in many countries. And so sometimes
Yes.
you'll have one in one area of the world, and then you'll have another in another area of the world. Yeah, right, Sally? Yeah. And so a few of us who have libraries of things have noticed there's other people who wanted help with their libraries of things. And some of us who have them also wanted to get better, because don't we all want to improve and help serve our patrons better?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so we just started networking. So I cold email people like I cold emailed you, and the
Yes.
gracious humans that you are, you responded and said, sure, we'll talk to you. And so
Yeah, yeah.
as a result, we've had people from Canada, from Europe, from the United States, and from other areas of the globe say, yes, we would love to come speak and share our experiences and how it works where we're from, with the hopes that someone could learn how to do it where they are. And what it also has, oftentimes people now are finding us, our little mutual aid group, which we're not fancy or anything. I'm sitting in a network closet.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're finding us when they need to find someone, find some assistance to do this. And then that way, now, if we know of humans in your region, we'll send them to you. Because I was just telling Nathalie, we know about poor internet during snowstorms, but we don't know about poor internet during monsoon season. So, you would have insights what you would need in monsoons, but maybe not as many insights to what you would need during a snowstorm. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure there's overlaps as well. So
Yeah.
that is the
No, I find that
motivation behind
excellent,
that.
really. I find that excellent because, networking is really nice. Exchanging of experiences and ideas is a great thing. We try within the Goethe Institute, but this is basically just within our network, to
Yeah.
also find out from our colleagues in different parts of the world how their libraries of things are going. Actually, this idea began as a very small initiative in Eastern Europe. I think it was in Bratislava
Bratislava,
many
yeah.
years ago that they started about a library of things. And at that time, I remember, most of us in the Goethe Institute were asking, why would you want to have objects or tools or gadgets like this inside a library? Who's going to come to borrow these items? And the colleagues in Eastern Europe told us it's a brilliant idea here. It's a very popular service, and with time, more and more libraries started trying this out. Sometimes they began very small, and then, of course, when they realized there was actually a need for this service, they began to increase. So I think we have grown to the point where we have about 18 libraries of things within the Goethe network. But of course, the number of libraries in the Goethe Institute is much bigger. The Goethe
Yeah.
Institute has 150 libraries. No, not
Wow.
libraries, but institutes in
Wow.
99 countries. We have, I think, 87 libraries, but only 18 libraries of things. So even within our own network, this is still a kind of a unique and special kind of service. Of course, we are brilliant. We're glad that we have it, but it's not something that you can find everywhere where you find a Goethe Institute. So we were thinking, Natalie and I, that maybe we can just share a small presentation to also tell you about the Goethe Institute, what we are, what we do, and a little bit more about our own libraries of things. They could be much smaller than what you have and what you're used to, but I think the idea is similar, and what might be different could be the experiences and the implementation. Okay, so we
I
had
love
agreed
that.
that Natalie would share the presentation. I don't know if she has the rights to do that now. Maybe the
Yes.
She's
host would
just
have to
getting
give
them.
her the
She just
permission.
asked. She just
Okay.
asked the clever human. And that, Eliphas, that sounds amazing. So we would love to learn more. That's exactly what this is for. Thank you so much for your
No problem.
graciousness. And I still can't believe it's like my bedtime when you're presenting.
Can you see my screen?
We
Yes, we
can, we
can.
can.
So,
So Natalie, you could just go straight to the second slide. Yeah, so basically that's what the Goethe Institute is, what we stand for. And I am very sure that you have heard about the Goethe Institute. You have maybe interacted with us, any one of our branches, maybe in a different context and so on. But basically, we are the Cultural Institute of the Federal Republic of Germany, very globally present in different sizes, with different focus areas, but generally we promote the German language abroad, not only for those that want to learn, but also those that want to train to become teachers of the German language. So we give courses in German, but we also those people want to do German exams. There are people who may have learned their German somewhere else, but they want to sit an exam to get a certificate, so that maybe they go to study in Germany, they can come to the Goethe Institute. We are also involved in cultural exchange, promoting dialogue between cultures, supporting local artists in the host countries in which we are. And you can look at culture in the whole spectrum, whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's the art, the theater arts, and so on and so forth, or literature. And then, of course, we have information centers, which is what our libraries mainly do, providing information about Germany. And this is also a very, very critical service, because many people want to know about, Germany for different reasons. They want to study, they want to work in Germany, so they come and they find information from us in different formats. Printed media, but also digital media, which is the main area that we are now focusing in. So that's basically the main those are the three main areas, or the main departments that you would normally find in a full Goethe Institute. Natalie, you can show the next one. And our libraries, generally, they're much smaller than what most people would expect in a library. We are not like research libraries. We are more special libraries. So you'll find collections ranging from maybe 2,000 items to maybe 5, 6, 7,000. And also, we don't cover all the areas, but mainly it's informing people about Germany, and in many cases also, because we work in partnership with local institutions and individuals, sometimes they recommend to us certain areas. They say, in our country, photography is a very important area. So you might find in one of our libraries that they have a special collection on photography, or it could be architecture or something of the sort. So small libraries, but very neat and well organized. We're actually very proud of them. Yeah. A lot of our users are very young. As you can see there, half of them are under 30, and now we have 18 libraries of things. Right, next slide. Uh, yeah, as you can see, our libraries of things are spread across the globe. We are in Europe, in those countries listed on the bottom left of the slide, but then again also in South America, in Southeast Asia, we have two libraries. So we have Jakarta and Bangkok. We have a library of things in India, in Egypt, in Cairo, and so on and so forth. So that basically just gives you an idea of where our libraries of things are located. And who knows, maybe as we continue this exchange and networking, a time might come when you say, we want to send a colleague of us to visit that particular one. So you have an idea of where we are located. Thank you very much. Next one. Yeah, as I said earlier in our introduction, it all began in 2016 in Bratislava, and they began really small, but this has been expanding. They were providing musical instruments, they were providing games, board games, and sometimes outdoor sporting equipment, and basically the idea was, how can libraries contribute to reducing this craze about consumption. You're always buying and buying and buying, and sometimes you buy things and then you realize maybe you only need it once in a year. So sustainability, how can we make a contribution? Maybe it's very minimal, but at least if we can reduce the amount that is consumed, that is bought and not really used, then this is where libraries come into play. Things that you don't need, you use it once in a year, or maybe even once in 2 years, but sometimes it's so crucial that you get one. So I know that my local library has it, and then I can go there and borrow one for my use. Next one. Yeah, and then of course we're talking about what is unique about our libraries of things, and each of the libraries of things has something that is special, that is maybe unique about it. So that in Bangkok, for example, they found a community of users that are interested in baking. And so they said, we're going to provide baking equipment and related items to baking. When you go to Prague in the Czech Republic, they have a large community that is interested in Germany as a country, as a culture, and so on. So they do provide different items that maybe they're very common in Germany, but not so common outside of Germany. But people find them quite practical, and they want to come and use them, borrow them, and use at home and bring them back. In Chile, they thought there are certain devices that are old but still quite useful, so they provide these. I remember recently I was talking to a friend of mine in Nairobi, Kenya, and he's got a huge collection of these vinyl records, rare, that you couldn't find anywhere else. And he doesn't have any way of playing them because he had a gadget long time ago from his grandfather. Now this record player is not working anymore, and then he put up a notice on his social media account. Does anybody have a record player? I have some very rare music here. Somebody showed up and said, yes, I have. And so they got in touch and started exchanging their music. And so yeah, we would find some of our libraries providing VHS players, which maybe today you cannot find anywhere else, and so on and so forth. Next one, Natalie, I think you will pick it up from there.
Yes, and now I will show you about what do we have in our library. For example, in Jakarta, we started in 2023 October with our Library of Things, with the topic of baking and cooking, because the theme of food is very important. So we try with this theme first. We have only like 19 objects for baking and cooking, but we are planning to expand our collection with other topics like DIY tools and also hobbies and outdoor activities. So next year we will launch our like updated website for our Library of Things with the new things that we already buy this week. And we have done the selection with the vote in Instagram. So I make a list like, these are the things that we want to buy. What do you think? Please vote. So I only buy the things that got like the most vote. Yeah, that's for Jakarta. And then in Kolkata, they have like only their main topics are things that is suitable or interested for group 15 until 25. And then for Bangkok, it's important for them to have things that is not difficult to use and with low maintenance. And in Prague, and then I will show you like example, the things that is most landed. For example, in Prague, in Santiago, in Bangkok, and in Riga, And in Jakarta, for example, our bread maker and air fryer is most landed because it's not all of our patrons can buy these devices because they're not that cheap, and if they just want to try it, if it's suitable for them, then it's they find it nice to borrow the things first, then just buy it. Yeah, and in Cairo they have like a painting or electric sprayer for painting and coating, also can air compressor. And in Budapest, they have like Beamer, also Instax camera. And for Jakarta, we just bought a Polaroid camera because it was also voted very high for Polaroid camera. It's also like old things or old devices that are in again. Yeah. And then we also combine the collection in the library of things with workshops or with project. For example, Bratislava is doing sustainable projects, and then they are using the things from the library of things. And like Kolkata, they have like monthly repair cafe. And I think not only Kolkata is doing that, but also other library. In Jakarta, we are also planning to do it like a repair cafe in the library for our next year projects. In Athens, they have like a swap workshop and knitting workshop. It's like upcycling. Swap is like barter of clothes, old clothes. In Cairo, they have like this upcycling workshop because they have like a sewing machine in the library of things, and they do this upcycling workshops also in Riga. Yeah, and in Jakarta, we are also planning to do this upcycling workshop also. So we try to do workshops and then combine it with the collection of library of things. So people know, okay, I got this workshop and then I can borrow the things that I need from the Goethe Institute library. In Tashkent, they're also doing workshop and projects that offer practical educational, like workshop, photography workshop with camera from the Library of Things, and also audio recorder, maybe for someone who wants to like a good interview. They do this workshop. And then they have also like doing workshop for sound experiments using the music instrument that they have from the Library of Things. And they also have like seasonal offers. For example, Christmas is coming, and then they have like a Christmas bakery workshop using the Library of Things that they got in the library. And we have also like pre-integration workshops in our Goethe Institute. For example, in Jakarta, we have a seminar about preparing people to take vocational schools in Germany, like for example, or to work in Germany as a nurse or working in the hotel or being a cook, a chef. So we have like a seminar using our collection of library of things about cooking German recipe. It was goulash and mashed potato in front of our library. And then in Amman, for example, they have this pre-integration workshop. They plan to do an exhibition about everyday German objects that maybe is not so common in Amman. So if people come to Germany, they won't like have a culture shock. Yeah. And Lifas, you're next.
Yeah, so basically what we have noticed with these libraries of things is that, as opposed to the normal items that people would borrow from a library where an individual walks in, borrows an item and leaves. Communities are building around libraries of things. You find people who have a common interest in baking, coming together and organizing an activity either inside the library or outside of the library, but using items that they have borrowed from the library of things. If there are people who are interested in photography, for example, they could be borrowing these old cameras and using them for an activity together and so on. So we're also promoting this networking. Some of these people living maybe in households where they don't have the opportunities to interact so much with other people, and when they come together, it's basically fun and they're learning from one another. And so we are very happy that we can contribute to this socializing of people and making them get to know one another and learn from each other. Now, of course, I remember when I came to Jakarta for the first time. That was in February this year, and I asked Natalie, "So who comes to borrow these items? And is it something that is widespread, and how many people know about it?" And I remember her telling me that now it is very well known, but when they began, there are people who'd walk into the library and be shocked. Why do you have a sandwich maker in the library, or why do you have an air fryer in the library? And they were not quite sure, can I borrow this really? And there are certain people, of course, who are also a bit hesitant because they're thinking, what if it gets messed up? I mean, it gets broken. What happens to me, and so on. But with our efforts to encourage more and more people to use it, it becomes something that they really look forward to. And they, as Natalie has said, they're making even suggestions of more items that we can buy. So I think that some tips that we could give to anybody who wants to try something similar, or those that are already providing libraries of things. For us, we think that the gadgets that we provide should be low maintenance things that are easy to clean, they're easy to package, they're easy to transport. We try to promote this quite a lot on social media. So we have formats that we develop for Instagram, maybe showing somebody using a gadget or borrowing an item or showing an activity that's taking place. We also think that it's important to display them quite prominently in the library in a way that it's not something that somebody just sees accidentally when they're looking for books, but it should be in an area where somebody walks in and they can immediately see this. And it gives the library staff also an opportunity to explain what this service is. Otherwise, if you keep them very much hidden at the back, somebody might think this is just someone who is looking for a place to temporarily keep their stuff. So yeah, exactly. Then we can go to the next slide. Yeah, and then we also think about, how do we ensure that these items don't disappear? Basically, it's just the same way you deal with books or any other media. Tell the members these things belong to you. They're yours. You found it here because somebody returned it. So you can use it, bring it back, so that next time you want it, you can use it, but someone can use it in the meantime. We promote this on social media, as I've said. We have a newsletter. We have different ways of, letting people know, word of mouth, when they come to the library, maybe for a reading or they come to borrow. Take the opportunity just to tell them, by the way, we also have this event. And the idea of having events inside the library, around the library of things, is something that helps quite a lot in promoting these events and creating communities, that look forward to coming to the library the next time, because there's always a chance you're going to meet somebody you haven't met before, or you're going to learn something new. And that has been quite useful. I think that was our last slide, or do we have another one? Yeah, Natalie talked about workshops. Uh, Things like the terms of use are basically understandable to everybody. And yeah, so we hope that we were able to share our little experience with Library of Things. Most of these things you probably already know, but we would also love to hear from you if there's anything that you found strange or interesting, and if there's something else that you also offer, which maybe we don't, and we can learn from your experience. Thank you.
Oh, thank you both so much. You know, I am really grateful that volunteers like you come and let me talk to you each month. So for the past 2 years now, every month, I've been asking questions to amazing Library of Things humans around the world, just like you. And I have to say that you are doing all these best practices we see everywhere again and again. There's a reason why, you know, we had you here, because it was so lovely to see that you run programs with your Library of Things. You have you're really caring about what your users want. You are displaying them in public so that they can see them, they can ask questions. Again, I just think if I had to tell someone best practices to look at, oh my gosh, you guys have them. And
Yeah.
I also just wrote down some notes for myself. It's something that you do that, for example, our library doesn't do yet. But we've been wanting to do is, I love the idea of doing QR codes for instructions. I've talked to a few other libraries that do that as well, and having that QR code in your populations, do you find that everyone has like a smartphone so they can access a QR code? Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And that's
Absolutely.
where for us for a bit, not everyone had it here, but now I feel like after COVID, a silver lining of that is that we have a lot more smartphones in our area and a lot more digital literacy. So the way this normally works is I always have questions. So I am prepared to, so I have a whole list here of things I want to ask you. But anyone on the call, to Sarah, Sally, and if anyone else joins, sometimes we have larger crews, sometimes we have smaller crews. We can never tell how many humans arrive or don't arrive. They're also welcome to jump in and ask questions, or um, often, I don't know if you can see chat, but Sally already said, oh my gosh, it's so interesting to see your collections. Thank you so much for sharing. So if they have other questions, they might put them into chat, because they might be in a situation where they can't ask easily, as I'm sure you
Sure.
are sometimes when you're manning the desk at your library. In fact, here comes one from Sally right now. So if you have time, we'd love to spend 15 minutes or so asking you a bunch of questions about this. Fabulous. Well, so Sally's question was, since your institutes are spread out, do you get a chance to interact with each other and share these experiences in person? Or you knew so much about your other institutes, is this something you regularly connect with?
Now, there are many ways of interacting with one another within the Goethe Institute. Our institutes are organized in regions. Okay, so we have, for example, we have a total of 10 regions. So Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, that's a region for itself. We have North America is a region. You have South Asia is a region, and so on. We have Europe has 2 regions, and you sometimes find that within those regions, there could be 1 or 2 libraries that offer libraries of things. And they meet maybe once in a year when they have their regional coordination meetings. So for example, in our region, when we have our meetings once a year, the colleagues from Jakarta and those in Bangkok would definitely meet and interact, and they can share ideas. Now, apart from that, we do have an intranet where all the institutes would usually do updates about what's happening, some of the best practices. If there's something new that they have added, they want to inform the rest of the colleagues about it. So they would publish that on the intranet, and we can read about those. Actually, there is a presentation on our internet that's being updated regularly, because every now and again a library comes up with something new and they say, oh, please add this, so that in case somebody is thinking about establishing a library of things, then they can learn from what we are doing. So those are the many opportunities that we have. We have also, I think, a monthly, or I think it's a monthly forum where librarians from all over the world within the Goethe network come together, and anyone is free to, bring in a topic, and you could say, next month I would like to share with you an experience from our library of things. So I think that our network is something that we're very proud of, because each one of these libraries is in the end quite unique, because we are working with local communities, and every community is quite special in a certain way. So yeah, we have that opportunity to interact and network and exchange ideas. Natalie, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, we also have our group chats in Teams only for the
Mm-hmm.
librarians. So if someone have question about, I want to make like a library of things, and then we can also post it in this group chat in Microsoft Teams, and everyone will answer, and also like showing the intranet if she didn't already know, and so on. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, so that is why, so we have a Google group, and that's where you are all welcome to join, as I mentioned,
Uh-huh.
where
Yeah.
you never know what's coming out of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually sending something today asking about chimney sweeping equipment,
Oh,
which
okay.
I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably not that relevant in Jakarta, but
No.
but no, yeah, no, not so much. But you never, but it's interesting to see what is. On that
Yeah.
note, I love that you have an electric paint sprayer, which we tried here, but I might ping you later to talk to you about the pluses and minuses of that. But there were two things you didn't know that I didn't know what they were, and I wanted to ask you, what is a tip toy pen?
Toy pen is a pen that goes with a book. So if you use the pen on the book, there is like a symbol, and then it will read you something from the
Oh,
symbol. Yeah, that's a tip toy pen.
cool. And then what is Kamishibai Theater?
Kamishibai is it's from Japan, actually, a storytelling from
Oh,
Japan, using like wie heißt Blätter, Eliphas, of English?
Blätter?
Yeah,
You mean like
Blätter, Bilder,
leaves?
Blätter. Yes, using leaf only
oh,
with picture, and there is a frame where you can put the leaves, the paper with the picture, and then
got it.
you will like tell the story, and then you will take out one picture, and then there is your next page of the book. So that's Kamishibai.
Oh, I love it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Perfect explanation. Um, so cool. So you're sharing all these best practices, which frankly shows. You might have seen me doing this. This is
Mm-hmm.
American Sign Language for same. My child has me doing it. They do it a lot
Okay.
in
Ah,
schools
okay.
here. So as you were saying all the clever things you were, I was like trying to stop myself, but I'm programmed to
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
to do
Nice.
same. So, on that note, it looks like, so it sounds like this is still even innovative within the Goethe network. But my understanding is that also because you are such representatives of German culture, the Germany also does have a lot of Bibliothek de Dinge. Am I saying that really poorly?
Der
Um,
Dinge,
the
Bibliothek der
Dinge.
Der
Dinge.
Dinge.
Yeah.
The
Bibliothek
Dinge.
der Dinge.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Bibliothek de Dinge. So it is kind of you're by having a library of things, almost you're still, that's almost a part of the German culture, right, that you're bringing to each of your institutes. Is that
Yes.
a fair thing to say, or is that not
Yes.
accurate? Okay.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
which
Mhm.
which I thought was really a neat way to go about
You know,
your
I
practice.
see in my local library in Munich, where
Yeah.
I lived before I went to I came to Jakarta. I would go to my library, and I see sometimes an elderly person going to the issue desk to ask for reading glasses, something as
Mm.
simple as that, because they left theirs at home, or they can't find them, or it begins to rain when you're in the library, and we have all these umbrellas that you can borrow and bring tomorrow or the day after, and things like that. Or they have gumboots if it suddenly becomes it's flooding and somebody says, oh, I didn't carry the right kind of shoes, do you have something like that? So it's a very common thing in Germany, and I think that's the culture that we're trying to transport to other locations where we are hosted, you know, and it's very well received. So we're very happy to be able to make a contribution in this area.
Well, and I loved all the baking too. I appreciated that. I think to your point, what a great way. Oh, you come and there's treats, but also that's part of German culture. And you would get me with
Yeah.
gingerbread for sure. I would show up.
Uh-huh.
I have a question for you. So you both speak English so very well. But then from understanding it, since you live in Jakarta and then you run a German institute, does that mean you each also speak two other languages at least? German and a different language? And then does that mean that your books and things are all cataloged in two other languages as well?
Our books, I mean, we have only like 90% books only in German.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, we are working with a catalog with Koha. It's like an
Yes, open source. We have the
open
same. Yeah.
source, yes, open source program. And I mean, everything is in German in our library.
Okay.
So I'm not used to speak in English. I speak most in German and in Indonesian.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to speak in English. But I mean, the catalog is all in we can like change it in English and in German, but not in Indonesian, because the Koha translation for Indonesian language is still limited. So someone have to do it. Actually, I have to do it, but I didn't get the, the time right now to do the translation for Koha. Yeah, for Indonesian language. Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. So it's related to the reason I asked you that leading question. So one, I would never guess you don't speak English regularly. I wish I had
Thank
those
you.
skills. I wish I had those skills. And I'm so impressed, fluent in Indonesian, German, and English. But it's something that I think as we work more and more around the world, I know at least in my community, we always would like to be, we would like our things to be found in many languages other than English. And so it's something I ask amazing places like yourselves that are operating in environments where there are more languages spoken. So it's interesting. So primarily the instructions then for all these objects would be in German. And then
In
you,
Indonesian, actually,
oh,
but
in
then,
Indonesian. Okay.
yes, in Indonesian, because I mean, if we take a look at the statistic, in the website, the first thing that the people open will be in Indonesian.
Yeah.
So for the instruction, we are doing it in Indonesian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they're coming often to your institute maybe to learn German. So then eventually, per se, not that you have enough to do. I also am a librarian. I know the list is never ending. Eventually they might be in both, right? Or
Yes.
you, yes, okay. Yeah.
If the instruction is in our website, then we
Yeah.
have to do in 3 language, because our website is in 3 language. Yeah.
See, again, you might be small, but you're mighty. We're not anywhere close to that yet. So again, we're so lovely. Um, is that something that you're doing by hand, or are you able to purchase a service that does the translation for you? I know with AI and Google Translate, and there's all these options now, but like you, it sounds like they might be a little behind with Indonesian, and we're finding the same things with some of the languages we hear about, like Lingala and things.
We are doing it both ways, right,
Yeah.
Elifas? If the text is more to handle, then we will give it to someone to translate it. But if it's just a small, like 2 sentences or 3, not that much, then we will translate it by our own.
Impressive, impressive. Sally calls out just, I love your institute's focus on the local needs and incorporate your things into that culture and community. And I hear, Sally, exactly. I think we're all, that's, the best practice around the world. That's what brings us all together as community. Well, and on that note, something that we often, when folks are first getting into this world and maybe don't quite understand how similar lending things is to lending books at a public library, some of the first questions that come up is, oh, they're going to disappear. Like people aren't going to bring them back. Or, oh, it's going to be gross. People aren't going to clean them. Or, oh, you shouldn't lend that. Have you had any troubles with any of those kind of folks, with any of those things, of things going missing or things coming back gross? Or is that all? It really hasn't been an issue?
Until now, we don't have like any issue. I mean, we got the
Yeah.
things clean every time someone borrow our media, because we also take care about the books. I mean, we always explain it's the same like the books. You bring back the books in nice condition like the one that you lent. So it's the same with our library of things. So we have our own self-check, but returning it always have to go through the circulation desk. So we will check everything if everything is okay. And then if it's not okay, then we will give them a warning. So I think everyone know about the rule, our patron. So we try to educate them.
You know what? Again, tell you, you're on all the best practices. That's what folks here are doing too, around the world. And so it seems to work. The good news is so if you're new and watching this recording, once again, it works. So
Yeah.
When I started working as a librarian many years ago in Nairobi in Kenya, my boss, I was a bit scared sometimes, that very rare material from the library might be borrowed and they don't bring them back, and I used to discuss that with my boss and she would say, no, you know what, you shouldn't worry so much. If somebody takes something from the library and doesn't bring it back, or if it disappears, it's just an indication that you're providing the right things, the things that people need. So it doesn't happen often, but I guess just with books, if a book disappears from the library, as a librarian, I wouldn't feel so sad about it. Of course, I'll say I wish they had told us they want to keep it, but it will tell me that maybe I need to buy more copies of the same because somebody really needs it. I would be sad on the other hand if I have books that nobody borrows. I look at the statistics and this book has only been borrowed once in a year. I think the same would apply for the library of things. If you provided stuff there and you notice that at the end of the year nobody used it, you would not be very happy. If on the other hand
Yeah.
it is used so much that it kind of gets worn out and you have to replace it, that's a good thing. Yeah.
good thing. Oh my gosh, this is all a good thing. Well, to be honest, I could keep you guys up all night with all the questions I have for you about Jakarta and libraries and your interaction with that, but I want to be respectful of your time. And so we have 5 minutes left. Sally, Sarah, and Tu, please chime in with any last questions you have for Natalie or Alfias. And I guess I will, end on this. So in different parts of the world, there are, different libraries, different numbers of libraries. Some parts of the world, there are actually very few, even traditional libraries with books. My understanding from a quick search is, where you are, they are not there are plenty of other libraries. Is that correct? Or is just even being a library in itself a kind of radical thing?
I think
In
that
Jakarta, yeah.
when we look at our network
Yeah.
of Goethe institutes, there are certain countries in which the libraries of the Goethe Institute are just a small player because there's so many other libraries, especially in Europe and in North America, that would be the case. Now, when you go to Asia, some parts of Asia, or you go to Africa, then you realize how great a service we offer because I remember traveling across Africa, and in some countries you'd find that the only library available for hundreds of kilometers was the library of the Goethe Institute. And so the value that people attach to the libraries that we have is so high, In some parts of Asia, it's the same thing. I was in a conference today that we were talking about cultural diplomacy and the role that institutions like the Goethe Institute play in cultural diplomacy. And one of the people in the audience said that, you know, they live in Jakarta and there are not many places where they can just walk in and sit and relax and read whatever they want. Maybe they even come with their own reading material, but they find it so welcoming. It is so cozy, and so they love our library for that particular reason. So I think that it's a mix. You know, it all depends on the country. Some countries don't have that many libraries, and therefore what we offer is really valued, you know, and appreciated. Other countries, you might even find individuals who have bigger libraries at home than the ones that we have. So it's different.
It's different, and that's okay. That's a strength, and that's as
Yeah.
yeah. Again, what a service you're providing. Um, so folks have said, "Oh my gosh, this has been so great." But and then I have a couple of other questions for you, which is one is some folks are curious of how you actually acquire your items. Do you purchase new, or do you ask for community donations, or are they used? And are there any items that just haven't worked for you?
Uh,
Natalie?
for now, we buy new items for our library of things, but there was also a thinking of asking people to bring their stuff that they already have in their homes and to donate it to our libraries, so we can like do so people can lend the things that they don't use in their home. That was also a thought, maybe in the next steps. And then because we are quite new with the library of things, so we haven't removed anything from the collection of the library of things, but in the future I'm gonna remove some items that's not working so well. So for example, like the oven, electric oven. So not everyone in Jakarta have like an oven where they
Yeah.
can bake cakes, but I bought like the wrong size. It was too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's difficult to transport. So that's why it's not been lent very much, very well. Yeah, so maybe that's the first thing that I'm gonna remove from the collection. Yeah.
I just call it leveling up. Now, like, I've been doing the same thing for years, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna level up. We're gonna fail fast, fail often. The next, post-hole digger things, I'm gonna get the next that now I learned, and I'm gonna get a better one that will better fit our needs. Maybe it's a backpack version or something. Yeah, we have the same troubles around the world. For example, our rolling ice cream maker, the ball one just did not work for us. Don't go with the
Ah, okay.
ball ice cream maker, go with a different one. But these are the discussions we have a lot on Lot Mutual Aid Group. And some people are like, but I love that. It works great for our community. And other people are like, no, never do a carpet cleaner. So thank you so, so very much for sharing your wisdom. And it really has been that. Again, don't discount yourselves because yeah, this has been all the best practices, caring about your community, meeting the local needs, small but mighty. I'm going to steal the QR codes. I'm going to do that. So probably not in 3 languages, but
Mhm.
again, I hope so. I hope we'll level up to that. Um, Thank you again. There's some thank yous in chat for you folks being lovely, and I
Thank you
know
for
that
inviting us also.
you're
Thank you very
very, very
much. Yeah.
welcome. And yeah, if any of the Goethe Institute want to join the Lot Mutual Aid Group, we would love to have your wisdom. And again, it's just humans like us around the world trying to do some good and learn how to be better. So thank you again for your time. I will let you all go to sleep or stay up all night, whatever gives you joy. But thank you again. And yes, I hope we all get to visit each other someday. No, it's an open
Yes.
invite.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the invitation, and I hope that this is not the last time that we are exchanging, that we're interacting. We look forward to more opportunities, and yeah, all the best also in your efforts out there to serve your communities, and come up with more innovative ideas on how to improve what you've already started. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you and
you
good night.
all.
Not good night. Have a good day. Yeah.
Same to you. A good day or a good night. Be well.
Bye bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.